Cultivate and Keep podcast. I'm Corey.
And I'm Jeremy.
And welcome. Thank you again for listening to us. I'm surprised that people are still listening a little bit. But,
really?
No, actually, I think it's pretty fire.
Yeah.
You know, I retract that statement. But thanks for listening.
I'm sorry, guys, about my friend Corey. Just excuse him.
Yeah, Jeremy can be your favorite. I'm okay with that. We have a special episode. So normally we save these book reviews for our special Patreon feed. But we're going to do it for free because we want to kind of give you a glimpse of what it's like. And if you want more of these kind of episodes, you can go to cultivateandkeep.com/support. And there's a few tiers there. The $5 a month tier will help us meet our goal to cover the costs, as well as get extra episodes. We have a few in there now, and there will continue to be a lot more.
So just ignore the $5 one, go straight to the $25 one.
There's also a $25 one if you feel so kind. Yeah, it's over there if you want to find it. You can find the show notes as well as a link.
Yeah.
Cool. So today, Jeremy, tell us what we're covering.
Yeah. Sorry. Super excited about this topic. So probably about a year ago, I was really kind of thinking through the idea of like what is the vision that I have for my life? What are the things that I want to accomplish? And so I was I texted my dad. I said, "Hey, do you have any books about like vision casting, or how to develop like a dream or a desire for your life?" And so he immediately put me in a group chat with some of his friends and asked if they knew of any good books. And one of those people recommended Visioneering by Andy Stanley. And kind of cool. I came home the next day, and on my the sink top of my bathroom, there was the book sitting right there. So my dad went and got me a copy, which was cool. Thanks,
So
Pops.
you started reading it on the toilet?
No, obviously not.
Of course not.
Dude, I'll stop there.
Of course you didn't.
Yeah, no. I mean, the toilet is for like emails, bro. Emails, IG,
right.
fantasy basketball.
Fantasy basketball.
So when I propose a trade to you, you know where I was when I.
Oh, I'll think about that next time. Thank you.
So before this episode,
every man can relate. Let's be
we just
honest.
talked about having like a tight time frame to get this done, and we're just screwing around. Anyway, so that's kind of how this came about, and I read the book in about a week, pretty quickly, and I loved it. It was a really good book. Really, I think, I don't know, he had a lot of good points. I really encourage you to go read it. We're going to touch on a few of those points, but basically his book is about developing a long-lasting vision that has purpose. He talks about the idea of like a God-ordained vision rather than like a vision that we would have ourselves, and either one is fine. But he really helps us on the idea of how do you develop a vision that's going to last. I think for me, I really wanted something that was going to be long-lasting. I didn't want like a fad or something that was going to come about and I was going to be over with in a couple weeks. Like I wanted like a long-lasting vision for my life, for my career, for my family, for ministry, and this book was super helpful in that. Yeah.
And it sort of touches on a previous topic that we covered with what is God's calling for your life. But it's such a huge topic, and I feel like he does a really good job of kind of exploring that, and every person struggles with what am I supposed to be doing? What's my purpose? Like, what has God designed me to do and to be, and how do I develop to be that person that God wants me to be? So this book is all about kind of developing that vision for your life, and but also, like, what is God's vision for your life as well, and how do those two things align and ultimately be the same thing?
Yeah. Let's see here. So I did want to say one point before we jump into the points. I think this book, like, if you are someone that you don't want to go through your whole life being distracted and kind of jumping around from one thing to the next, I think he really helps you to think about that right there, and to kind of nail down like a course you're going to follow. And I think that's important for us to do.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's a topic that everyone should spend a considerable amount of time on, and this is a great tool to do that.
Yeah. Listo?
Listo, let's do it.
Okay, Nehemiah 2:18. You're up.
Oh, I'm up. That's me. I forgot about that. He says, I told them how the hand of my God had been favorable to me, and also about the king's words which he had spoken to me. And then they said, let us arise and build. So they put their hands to the good work.
I like the idea of putting your hands to good work. And I think this idea of having a vision just fascinates me. It gets me so excited. I think it's because of that right there, thinking what is going to stir up my heart to put my hands to good work. And specifically, like, what did God place in me that's going to stir me up to accomplish what he has for me? And I like that because it's focused. And it's when I think of putting my hands to work, like, I think of, okay, I know what I'm going to build. Like, I'm not talking like physically here, but I know what I'm going to be spending my time on. I know where the return for my time is going to come from, and I like that it's focused. And I think without I don't think I know without a vision, that doesn't really happen. I mean, I think it's very easy to
It's impossible.
to be distracted.
Yeah, and there's just kind of so the book is called Visioneering. Just kind of level set a little bit about what he's talking about. So to have a vision, he says a vision is a clear mental picture of what could be, fueled by the conviction that it should be. And I love that because it makes me think like, oh my gosh, well, what's my mental picture of what could be? And then what's my conviction, that's fueling what it should be? And what am I working towards essentially? And he breaks it down in this cool kind of formula. He says, Visioneering equals inspiration plus conviction plus action plus determination plus completion. And I think that's a little lengthy, but really it could even just be as simple as visioneering equals inspiration plus conviction plus action.
Yeah.
And with those three things, inspiration, conviction, action, you can have a really clear and a really awesome God ordained vision for your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like his formula because it kind of gets me off of like my seat. Like I think it's easy to have I think it's easy to have a vision and have a dream of what do I want. But I think is one thing he talks about this, but kind of the idea of stop dreaming and go do something.
Yeah.
And he talks about that idea, and so let me back up a second. For me, actually, it's not easy for me personally. Like it wasn't easy for me to have a vision. Like I think that's why I wanted this book, because I was thinking, okay, like God, I will get off my seat. I will go do it. Tell me what to do is how I was feeling. And the cool thing is, I would feel like I think now I have definitely like a more clear vision for what I want my life to be. And I don't want to say it's because of this book, but I think this book played a big part of it. And so I did want to say this is not just a book about like having vision. I think it really instructs you how to develop it and what are the steps to take to discover your vision for your life.
Yeah. And so to talk about the whole dream versus vision thing, I love that because he says dreamers dream about things being different. Visionaries envision themselves making a difference. Dreamers think about how nice it would have been for something to be done, and visionaries look for an opportunity to do something. So I wrote down stop dreaming. Seriously, everyone has dreams, everyone has ideas, everyone has a fantasy of kind of what they want their lives to look like, and they have an idea, but no one has, again, the conviction and the action to make those things a reality. No one sees themselves working towards that thing that they want. And that's a hard thing, right? But in reality, dreams and ideas and kind of this picture of what you want to be is really cheap, and it's not worth very much. Really, what's worth more is a vision, and it's kind of a plan, and it's a
plan. Yeah, I like that.
It's a set of criteria. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to take the steps to make that happen.
Yeah, one of the notes we had was visions are built on principles that can bring your vision to life. I like that, man. So good.
Yeah. Another one of the cool things I liked was goals versus vision. So I was sort of thinking
because you don't like goals, right? Like you're kind of like anti-goals.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny because it was sort of feeding my whole hatred towards goals recently. But I felt like goals are very short-sighted in a lot of ways because once you complete a goal,
then what?
Then what exactly? Yeah. Like a goal ends with its goal. When will you complete the goal? So a vision goes past goals, and it doesn't have a completing point, right? It's sort of eternal. Otherwise, it's kind of perpetual. So I've been on this kick of goals are maybe not the right thing to have. Maybe goals are good ways to kind of set up your vision or to accomplish parts of your vision. But I love so I sort of wrote down when goals fall short. So goals fall short when they lack vision. Without vision, goals are arbitrary, temporary, and meaningless. Without vision, you lack the conviction and the motivation to carry through with your goals. So, why can't I achieve my New Year's resolutions? Why can't I achieve my goal to lose 10 pounds? Well, it's because you lack vision. It's because in reality, once that thing is done, it's not going to give you the thing that you're ultimately trying to achieve.
So good. I wrote down this. One of my notes was, a clear vision has the power to bring what's important to the surface of your schedule and your lifestyle. A clear vision. I love what you're saying because I think with goals or with really with ideas or dreams, that's simply all that it is. It's an idea, it's a dream, and it's a goal. But like, what's going to cause you to actually see it through to fruition? What's going to cause you to really do it? Well, a vision will, a clear, defined vision that not only that you know, but that those that are close to you are aware of your vision. When you have accountability and it's clear and people know about it, like you're most likely going to be, you're going to see it through. But it's got to be clear, it has to be defined. And I think that's why I love the whole idea of vision, because that is what it is. It's built on principles and it's clear and we follow it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And so speaking about plans, so again, I don't think that a vision necessarily equals a plan. He says, be stubborn about the vision, be flexible about your plans, because a plan isn't necessarily a vision. A vision is a destination, and a plan is a path to get to that destination, right? So, but the thing is that plans change. Like, your destination never changes necessarily. Like, I want to get to this place, I want to be doing this thing, I want to be this person. But sometimes the path to get there and the ways and the things that you do to get to that destination change.
Mm-hmm.
There might be some sort of closed door or some sort of obstacle or some sort of life event that happens that changes the path, but it should never change your ultimate vision.
Yeah. One quote he has, he says, without vision, we are easily distracted and find ourselves drifting away. And he says, we have no right to live a visionless life. I think that's so good. Putting it in more of like a challenge, like we don't even have a right to live like this. I think, most of us don't think that way. It's not like, I think we feel like, oh, if we have a vision, like great, but if not, like whatever, you know. But he's saying we don't even have a right to do that. Like, we were created to have a clear, defined vision for our life that we're going to follow and accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is also one of the defining factors for what makes what like the difference between a Christian man and a non-Christian man is that a non-Christian man is driven by goals. I want to be able to retire. I want this amount of money. I want these cars. I want these houses. I want this kind of family. I want to leave this legacy. But again, their purpose and their vision ends with each of those goals. Yeah. And ultimately it all goes away with them. But with a vision, all those things are just kind of byproducts of the vision, and it goes way beyond you. Like, you, with goals, you achieve those things and it ends with you. But with a vision, you get to enter in other people in that, and then it carries on with other people as well.
I like that. One thing I wanted to hit on was the idea that visions take time to see through. So Andy Stanley is a Christian author, but he talks a lot about the life of Moses. And he talks about how it took Moses about 40 years to grow the vision that God designed for him.
Dang.
And one thing,
that's such a long time.
40 years, man. Like, we're almost 24. Like, 40 years, that's almost double what we've lived so far.
Yeah.
And
which seems like a long time, but it's not.
But he talked about the idea of that there must be some type of correlation between the time of preparation with the time of the time of preparation for the magnitude of what the vision is, or what you're going to accomplish. And I think that's important to remember. Most of us don't like the idea of waiting. We don't like the idea of waiting on a plan to kind of come through.
Yeah. But or being patient enough to kind of take the steps and keep working at it.
But flip it and thinking about, and I've heard this from many people, not just Andy, but I've heard like my mom talk about it, Mark Hoffman has said it a few times, like the idea of there is a correlation between the preparation for what you're going to do and what you're going to accomplish. And if you can flip it like that, it kind of puts into perspective like, oh wow, I'm happy to wait. Like, I'll wait. Right. This is going to be epic. And so that's crazy. Yeah, 40 years, man.
I'll happily take the steps necessary because I know that this time of preparation is going to help me achieve this vision that I have for the thing that I'm actually going to do.
Yeah, another point I had was cast your vision at the appropriate time to the appropriate people. One thing he talks about is like really thinking through like what it is like that you're developing kind of in your mind. And so we kind of should break this down a little bit, I want to say. So I did want to say this book may not, like, it might take you years, if not a good chunk of your life, to develop a vision, right? It's not. It may not be just like instant, but some people it will be easier for than others. If you're a dreamer, you probably have like a lot of visions, quote unquote, that you want to accomplish. And one thing he talks about is like see it through, like be consistent and don't be inconsistent with your ideas. And so if you have a vision, like think it through, pray about it, and before you kind of share that, like really make sure you're ready to go public. He has a whole chapter about going public with your vision.
That's true, huh?
And it's kind of the idea of like making sure like what you're going to basically declare to people that you're ready to follow through with, whether it's like a career idea, a business idea, like a nonprofit, whatever you want to do, big or small. Think it through, and at the right times, which only you can identify, you share with the right people.
Yeah. I think another good point to that is that it's not a vision if you're willing to abandon it if it fails.
Yeah, he says that. Huh?
And so the idea of a goal is if you don't reach your goal, then you fail. But if you fail in your vision, right, that doesn't mean that the vision doesn't necessarily come true.
Mm-hmm.
It just means that maybe you need to, again, maybe reconstruct your plan or your path to get to that vision, and that you're willing to do whatever it takes to realize that vision.
Yeah, he talks a lot about like not being driven by emotion of the moment, like making sure that you've thoroughly thought it through. He has 4 components that make a vision. He says first there's a problem, right? So figure out like what is the issue that you're encountering, and then step number 2 is develop a solution to that problem. And then he has 3 and 4 I like a lot. He says in order for there to be a vision that you're going to follow through, there must be a reason why something must be done. And then his last point is there also has to be a reason why something must be done now. And I like that. And it's again, this whole idea is developing a consistent vision that you are going to see through until the end. And so those points of finding the problem, creating a solution, finding the reason why you must do something, and then why must you act now. I think those are really good components.
Yeah, they really are. So to kind of finish us off, I think that really visioneering comes down to living life on purpose, and instead of just kind of wavering and achieving goals maybe that are meaningless or not. But really visioneering is about engineering your life with a vision, so the whole visioneering part, to live a life on purpose and to do things intentionally.
Well, then Andy, in a book he talks about, he has like a business mentor, someone that he meets with about once a month. And he said every time he meets with this person, when they sit down, one of the first questions the guy asks is, Andy, what are you working on right now that's big? And I think it's a great question for us all. I think that was my concluding thought was, what are you doing? What are you working on right now that's big? What what is something that is kind of really beyond your means, and are you pursuing it? I think it's a good challenge for us.
That's cool.
So, guys, thanks for listening. This was a fun little podcast to do. It's a quick one. If you liked what you heard, please feel free to give us a 6-star review. Nothing more, nothing less. If you have any comments or questions, you can email us at cultivateandkeep.com. You can reach out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And besides that, Corey, is that it?
That's it. Tell us what you think of Visioneering if you decide to get it and read it. We'd love to hear from you. And we'll talk to you on the next episode.
All right. Peace.